Now let's be real, most designers suck at doing their taxes and their finances. I know, because personally me, I was so bad at it back in the day, but I'd rather be working on logos and working on fun brands and actually worrying about my books and my accounts and my finances and numbers. It's just too much chaos. Years ago, I used to use Excel spreadsheets and it was basically a mess. I couldn't accurately calculate everything. And so when it came to tax time, I was stressing because I wouldn't know what to do. So today I want to give you some freelance tips, especially if you're a freelancer in Australia. Now, thanks to Rounded for sponsoring this video. Now, number one is you want to plan your taxes ahead. So typically in Australia, you have different thresholds. And so if you hit over 75,000, you typically want to put away 30% every month. So my best tip is to actually automate it in your bank accounts. So whatever bank you use, whether it's CommBank, Westpac, or whatever, you want to create a business account saver, and you want to create a one for your debit card, and you want to actually put 30% away every month. So whatever income is coming in, make sure you put that away. If you're in the lower thresholds, maybe you're earning only 30 to 40K a year, you can probably put away 20%. So make sure you automate that every month to just make it efficient and save you time. Because it's not automatic as a sole trader. You have to actually pay tax at the end of the year, or you can sign up for PayG where you pay in installments. Usually every quarter, you'll pay I don't know, 2,000 or whatever it is, depending on how much you're earning. So you'll pay in installments, which is cool. So on my dashboard in Rounded, it actually shows me an estimation of how much tax I'll be paying. So you can see my income, you can see my expenses, and then it'll give me an estimate at the bottom, which gives me a good idea how much I have to pay. I can easily just go here, go to the bottom, and you can see the income, expenses, the taxable income, so the actual money I'm getting taxed on, and then the tax payable right down here, and it gives you an estimate, as you can see there, which I think is super cool. And this just allows me to know how much to save. Now, one of the cool things with Rounded is actually bank feeds. Now, when it comes to bank feeds, I can click on the left here, and up the top, you can see I can click the cog. I can enable, all my accounts here. I can remove my bank as well, but it just shows me all the money that's in my accounts, especially for my business. It's not showing my personal stuff. So I can go to the top right, click add bank, and you can load and connect any bank you want, which I think is an amazing feature, as you can see there. And typically this is available for Australian accounts. For overseas, it doesn't really work. Maybe in the future they'll have that updated. I can also click auto suggestion, so it will automatically add GST to certain expenses or things I pay for, or income on services I offer, and also expense data will automatically pre-fill it for me, which just saves me time for doing it manually. So you can see here, I can see some of the credits and debits, so I can select credits if I want, and it will select all that. If I want to select or deselect, all debits, I can select all that, and then I can go, do a bulk thing. Maybe it's non-business, is it a transfer, etc. Or I can actually just add expenses, and you can see it will include the GST. Business use is 100%. Got categories. I can add vendors as well, which I'd like to do. I've got categories here, and then also I can assign that to a client if I want. So that's the cool thing about the bank feed. One of the cool things is I can filter by, specific types. So if I want to go unreconciled debits, you can see some of the stuff. We got Amazon, or and then I can also filter by the date. So maybe this month, you can see it will filter. So now the next tip I have is time tracking. When I used to work on projects, and I've used to time myself, so I didn't know how long it would take me to do a project. It could have been 50 hours and I wouldn't have known. So now I time track, and in Rounded, I can just go click on timer. It'll go to time tracking. I can also click on manage projects as well to manage on the different projects I've got here. So I'll go to time tracking, and then what I can do is I can type, hey, logo design. I can select the project. So, maybe it's for, one of these clients here. Click refresh, click the play button. And if I want to add billable, maybe it's 100 an hour, it's going to add that. Another cool feature is I can manually enter time if I worked outside of hours and I didn't click the button. I can do that here. That's pretty self-explanatory. So if I stop that, you can see it calculates the actual time, and at the end of the day, it will add up all the hours here, as you can see. If I go, let's go this month, you can see all the hours there, or last month. So sometimes some projects I track, others I don't track. So it's only for specific projects, and you can see all the projects on the side here. And obviously I can archive a project as well. As a freelancer, you want to know how much time you're spending. So then if a project takes you 10 hours, you can charge accordingly to your client. And remember, don't just charge based on time, but charge based on value. Charge based on the project. Think about profit, think about taxes, think about expenses, think about all the elements that's involved in the work, not just, oh, it's per hour. I charge 50 an hour, so 10 hours is $500 or whatever. So you don't want to think like that. You want to think bigger. The next thing is creating invoice templates for efficiency. Now, Rounded has invoices, so I can click on invoices, and I've got pre-made templates I have here. I've got a USD version and an Aussie version for the currencies. I can add as many as I want. I can add another one for, let's say, Canadian, right? And I can copy. I can create template, right? It adds my logo, which I've already done. It's got my, address and all those other things, which is really cool. I can see the currency. I've got GST. Is it inclusive or exclusive? I can actually style everything as well. So maybe I want to change it to like green or whatever. I have access to that, which is cool. I can attach files. I can also set it as a default, which is pretty cool. And I can also create an invoice for a client that's in here. So if I go new client, I can go here, change all these elements, contact name, business number, address, and I can save that contact super fast. So I can go to currency. You can see you got Euro, you got all these currencies. So let's go Canadian just for now. And now I've got a Canadian version, which is super cool. So once I want to create an invoice, I can just go to invoices, create new invoice. Let's just say it's a USD or an Australian version. I'll create a new client, John Smith, 1 West Sydney. Let's just go there, John. John.Smith, let's just make it up. Okay, click save client. And now I've got my thing here. I'm going to type in design services and so I've got a GST button. I can select a rate. I can also type a description. So if I want to type something here, I've got the dot. I can add headlines. I can customize the text really easily. Now, what I actually do have is the templates that I was talking about. So I click this little star and I can just click on the templates and it's going to add those. And I can change these templates at any time. I can go to the right and click the little X and delete. And so for example, let's say we're doing, some designs, phase 1, discovery, phase 2, identity, and say let's say a website, right? So you got, all these prices there. I can include GST on everything, which is super cool. So that looks great. I've got my payment details here. You can accept PayPal and Stripe, which I've already connected. So this is just hypothetical. I can add a discount. Maybe the client pays, if they pay all up front, I can put a discount there. Let's say 5%. I can also request a deposit, which I think is an amazing feature because that just saves me time. So usually I do 50% or say like 33% over 3 times. If we want to do that, then I can just click done. And once I ready to send that, it's going to send to the client and they're going to be able to pay it with a link. And so for example, I can save this. I can click, let's go ready to send, right? And I can just put like John Smith Gmail, even though it's like fake. I can customize this text. I'm super excited to get started or whatever. I can customize that. But I want you to pay attention to the get share link. I'm going to click on this little button, click mark invoice as sent and activate, just so I can use it. Obviously when you send it, it'll activate. But now I can do this, boom. And now I can just send this link in an email to the client and they can click pay with card or pay with PayPal, or I can download the PDF and send it that way if you want, but the link is just so much faster. Lastly, you want to have easy to read reports for your accountant when tax time comes around. You can give access to your accountant. So you go to settings, then go to accountant access, and then all you got to do is just put in your accountant's email right in here. And then you can actually select these buttons here if you want the accountant to see all your data, allow access to bank feeds so they can see your overall money in your bank. And they can also change GST as well, and you can invite them, and then you can just revoke any of the access or change permissions as well. So with Rounded, I'm gonna click on reports. I've got activity statements here, so I can see all my activity statements, which is really cool. I can look at my timesheets. I can also look at expense reports, so I can see all my expenses at a glance, all the categories, etc., with all the numbers, which is super cool. I can also look at the income report as well. And the cool thing is I can literally download a CSV file or download a PDF. If I click download PDF in the top right corner, it's going to generate that and I can see everything at a glance. It's going to have all my numbers and everything all accurately. It can also filter by last financial year or client or by category. And then at the end, I can do a profit and loss statement. So I can see, how much I made and what was the profit. So it just allows me to easily export all of that. So when I send it to my accountant, he has all the data he needs and I'm not fumbling through receipts or fumbling on multiple Excel spreadsheets. It's all in one place. So overall, these are going to help you manage your finances during tax time as a freelancer, as an Australian sole trader. It's going to completely save you so much time and just be beneficial. So if you do want to try out Rounded, you can actually try it out for free. But if you want to get an annual plan, you can use my code Jeremy30 to get 30% off any annual plan. The link will be in the description. Just make sure you do it before June 30 because the discount will end. So make sure to try it out. It's really affordable. It's only like $20 a month, and I've been using them for around 4 years now. So definitely check out. And if you do want some other freelance tips around setting up your business or brand name, then you can check out this video here where I talk about how to do that.